Hey everybody, and welcome to the Katie Weaver Show. This is Katie. I'm your host. I'm so happy to be here. If you are listening live, it is the 5th of November at 11 a.m. Pacific time. If you're listening to an archive or a replay, I want to also welcome you to the show. Per always, I want to let you know that we're over in the chat room, and you can find us by heading over to 12radio.com. That's number2radio.com. Click on the chat button and you'll be redirected into the Facebook chat, and I would love to see you there. I am also live streaming this event from the chat room, so if you'd rather watch, you can do that there, or if you'd like to watch later, you will find this broadcast uploaded over at Domestic Mystic on YouTube, and you can watch the video that way. So there's about a million ways to connect. I want you guys to know it's the first of the month, which is basically our favorite show around here, right? It is Animal Communication Day. A good part of my career has been spent talking to the four-leggeds and the finned ones, right? And the winged ones. And I'm really excited to be able to talk to your animals. If you want to share pictures of your beloveds in the chat room, I would love to see them. That's, to me, a really fun part of the show, getting to see everybody's loves. Did you put them in Halloween costumes? Did ya? I want to hear. I did. But I would love to see your babies. And of course, I'd love to read for you. Of course, we're talking about those that are living and those that have crossed. We can talk to them either way. I thought today it might be kind of fun to talk about quirks and funny things that have happened with your animals. If you want to share a story with me about a time that one of your pets embarrassed you profoundly, or themselves, or did something that was wild or out of character or just completely off or whatever, I would love to hear it. These are the stories I live for. Okay, very good. And of course, jump in the chat room if you'd like to ask me for a reading for one of your animals. Just a heads up, in the chat room, you'll see my banner at the top of the page. That's where I will see your posts. If you post in the live stream, I will see it to you, so let's not. Okay. Oh my gosh. So I have show and tell. Maybe that's what I want to do first. Yeah, right? Of course. Okay. Well, I hinted yesterday a little about this on the 1-2 News show. I've been working really hard on a set of orgonite that are lotuses, and I've been way excited to get them up here and share them with you guys. So I finished the set yesterday. They will be posted on my website later today for sale, but I love you guys the most, so I'm bringing them to you first. So if you want them, if you're interested, let me know. I'm going to keep making them, so it's not like if somebody else buys them, you'll never get a set. But this is them. I'm just excited to share. So Scott's going to post pictures in the chat room. So if you guys are not in the live stream, you'll be able to see them that way. But I'm going to show them to you in the live stream as well. So, and they are about as big around as bigger. I was going to say 50-cent piece, but they're probably a little bigger than that. They fit in the palm of my hand. So this is probably 2 inches across, maybe 2.5. So this is the root chakra. It is full of black tourmaline and brass. So why orgonite? We've talked about orgonite quite a bit, but I'll give you a tiny refresher. Orgonite is the combination of having metal and crystals suspended in resin. The resin creates never-ending pressure. And the way we activate the properties of metals and of stones are to put pressure on them or heat. And so in this aspect, they get heat when they cure, but of course they get the resin, or the resin that creates the pressure. So orgonite is amazing for boosting work you're already doing. It's amazing for putting anywhere that you feel like you have electronic interference. So sitting an orgonite on your modem, next to your power box, just next to your computer, in all four corners of your property, next to the TV, any place that you feel like maybe EMF, air pollution is getting to your spirit and bothering you. In this aspect, making them in chakra, the chakra configuration is because this is a really powerful way to balance your chakras. If you had the whole set, you could lay them next to you in a layout on your bed and lay next to them and just allow them to do their work. You could lay them on top of you. You could just meditate with one or all. You decide how you want to use them, but this is basically what they're all about. So the petals are all just dyed resin. They have mica in them to color them. So that's what the color is all about. But because of course we're going chakras, right? So the root chakra one, it's got the tips of the petals are red, and then the stone is crushed black tourmaline. Stone and brass, really pretty, kind of a lighter orange. A lot of times with the sacral we use carnelian and we go a darker orange, but I really wanted to use this peach moonstone. It is absolutely gorgeous. So that is the sacral. All right, the solar plexus. The solar plexus one is full of citrine and brass, and of course it's yellow and gold and gorgeous. This might be my favorite. I don't know. I really like it. I like them all, truly. All right. Now, if you're not in the chat room, and you're listening to this later and you're going, well, how do I see these? You can find them over at katie-weaver.com. They're not there at this moment, but they will be a little later today. All right, here's the heart chakra. It's got green tips. It's full of prehnite and brass. Prehnite is the healer stone. And so when I was trying to decide, because we could have gone pink, right? We could have put rose quartz. We could have gone pink and green. There's a lot of things we could have done, but I picked up prehnite because prehnite is the healer stone. And to me, most of the people that are using orgonite and using products like this are healers in their own right in some way. And so I felt like prehnite is a great way to help heal the healer's heart. So that's why I put prehnite in it. All right, throat chakra. All right, the throat chakra, it's so pretty. I don't know if you'll be able to see it super well. It's kyanite. It's little tiny pieces of kyanite and brass. The kyanite is gorgeous. They're sticks, actually. They're little tiny kyanite sticks. And I think it is so freaking pretty. I was also thinking that this one, because it is kyanite, would be an amazing dream stone. So if you wanted to put something under your pillow or next to your bed to help you with dream travel or astral projection, this would be an amazing piece for that because of the properties in it. All right, the third eye is amethyst and brass, of course, with purple petals. I do love this one. I don't know if I can pick a favorite, right? I just think they're all gorgeous. But for really working on your intuition, opening your third eye, balancing your third eye, this piece is going to be so powerful, so cool. A lot of people see chakras as lotuses. It's why the lotus and the chakras are so, you see them intertwined so frequently. A lot of people see them that way. Okay, the last one is the crown chakra. This is iolite and brass. Iolite is a really light blue, kind of a periwinkle colored stone that is amazing for working with the crown chakra. So that is why. So that's my set. I have been so excited about them and dying to get them done so I could share them and bring them to you guys so that you can see what we are working on. So pretty fun. So I hope that you love them as much as I do. There'll be more coming. I am really having fun with all of this art, Shannon said she could, or Quelly said she can hear the pigs. Yes, Fiona just walked through my office. Yep. I can either fight the pigs and lock them out of my office, in which they'll pound on my door and, make a lot of noise, or I can just let them come through. And so that's what I've started doing, is just letting them come through, because if I don't, I never hear the end of it. So, okay, so back to resin for just a minute. Okay, so on these resin pieces, I am selling them. If you're interested, let me know. I'm going to sell them for 20 bucks a piece or 99 for a set. So it's a ridiculous savings if you buy the whole set. But if you just want one and you're working on a specific chakra, that's totally fine too. Either way. So again, they'll be posted at katie-weaver.com later today. But if you're interested, let me know and I will hook you up. So pretty fun. These might be a fun gift as well. All right. So I'm working on learning a new skill with resin that I'm so excited about. So I'm learning how to preserve fresh flowers in a way that they are strong enough and preserved enough so that you can pour them into resin. I was thinking about the combination of being able to use plant magic with stones and with metals to create kind of the trifecta, right? I mean, you could make all kinds of magical charms in a piece like that. That would be amazing. I was also thinking about how cool it would be to be able to have that skill so that when somebody you love has a loss, you could make them a keepsake out of funeral flowers or a wedding or, you know, a joyous event as well. But the idea of putting flowers in resin is pretty cool. But to me, the idea of putting flowers and crystals and metals all together in resin is blowing my mind. So I've been doing a lot of research. It's an iffy process. You really have to go slow and do it right, or you'll ruin the flowers. And who wants to do that, right? So anyway, I'm sure I'll have something to come back and report at some point with that. But for now, you can definitely count on seeing plenty of lotuses coming up. So anyway, kind of fun. So I talked a little bit yesterday also on 1-2 News about Nanowrimo. Are any of you guys participating? I know Christy's trying to. I'm trying to. I know Jennifer's trying to. We're all trying to. But the idea of Nanowrimo is that you write a lot. So November is National Writing Month, and Nanowrimo, and there's all kinds of groups across probably the globe actually, but particularly the U.S. that are formed to help support each other to get all of your writing in. And the idea is that you write something like 1,800 words a day. It's a lot. I've been working on it. I'm nowhere near 1,800 words a day, but I'm at least trying, so I'm giving myself that much credit. But if anyone else is doing NaNoWriMo this month, I would really like to hear about it. You know, maybe we can give each other a little shot in the arm or kick in the ass or whatever it takes, you know. I think I want to write until I sit down to write. And then I want to do absolutely anything else. I drive myself crazy with procrastination. Anyway, we'll get there, right? So how are all of your babies? I'm seeing lots of pictures here. I love it. We had a situation last night that scared me a lot for a minute. Our little Chihuahua Skippy, who is my little old guy, he's in his mid-teens, and you know, he acts like an old guy these days. He wanted to go out back, and it was dark. You know, it's getting dark at 3 p.m. No, I mean, that's outrageous. But, you know, it's getting dark early, and we have a big fenced backyard. So if the dogs go out back, or the pigs, no one's out there to watch them, typically, you know. And I sent the little boys, our 2 Chihuahuas, out back to go potty. And we have a piggy door, a dog door, you know, so they can come in it. Well, pretty soon my other little guy came in and Skippy never came in, which is just weird for him. He doesn't go out in the dark and hang out. He goes out, he does his stuff, he comes straight back in. Well, in the light too. He's not a real fan of, you know, getting nature on his feet. And so he went out, you know, like I said, but didn't come back. And it was just really out of character for him. And I went out there and I called him and he didn't come. And I was like, what the hell? This is just not like him at all. He's actually hooked to my hip every moment of every day. Whatever chair I'm in, he must be in too. Whatever room I'm in, he has to be there. If I go in a room and shut the door, he will cry his eyes out at the door until I let him in, you know? So I called him and he didn't come. So I came back in the house. I got a flashlight. I walked back out. I called him, called and called, sent the other dogs out, hoping they would help, encourage him to come in. And I'm heading out into the yard, and he finally came out, and he was in one of the furthest reaches of the backyard. And I just acted so nonchalant and just wandered past me like nothing and walked back in the house and seemed fine. I think he got turned around. He's got cataracts, and I think that he couldn't figure out where the front door was. I'm guessing he ended up on the completely opposite side of the yard on accident. That's what I think happened, because he acted so blasé about it. He wasn't scared. He didn't act panicked. He didn't act like anything. But for him to just be outside like that for quite a while alone in the dark, that just doesn't happen. Anyway, so we got to keep a little eye on our old Skip here and keep an eye on him outside, obviously, because he's a little bit, he just, the older he gets, he just, and this is what old animals do, as you all know, they start showing their age, right? We see him turn a little corner here or there that we go, that's old guy stuff, And that last night, that was old guy stuff. And he's fine. He's totally fine. In fact, just a minute ago, while I'm here on the air, I watched him go through the door, go out back, go potty, turn around, and come right back in. So I know he knows. Sheila said, did I ask him what happened? Yeah. And he acted completely blasé about it. Like, what do you mean what happened? He didn't act like anything happened. Isn't that crazy? I have no idea why. He had no idea why. I was the one in a panic, but he didn't act like it was anything. I did ask him. Yeah, but nothing interesting from him. When I was a kid, we had a poodle, an old poodle. We had her for a bazillion years, of course, and she started going out. My mom would put him out front to go potty right before bed, and she started not coming back, and we'd have to go find her, and she would be in the neighbor's driveway walking in circles. Just walking in circles. You'd call her, and she'd keep walking in circles. You'd have to walk over there and break her reverie, and then she'd look at you like, oh, well, what are you doing here? And then she'd turn and come in the house. But it took her that, because she just, it was old lady stuff, kind of setting in. But she would get stuck in that loop in the neighbor's driveway. It happened quite a few times. If you called her and she didn't come, you'd just head over there and you'd have to touch her and talk to her to get her attention. And then here she'd come. So wild stuff. Anyway, geriatric pets, we love them, don't we? Sometimes they are so interesting. Alrighty, let's look at luminous. I'm trying to remember what our order is here. Let's look at luminous. I am going to put a link in the chat room, but if you aren't in the chat room, you can head over to katie-weaver.com and look at luminous there as well, under the Katie's magazine link. This is a good one. Tara said, interesting, Nanowrimo sounds exactly like what Kat was talking about for me this morning. Ooh. Check it out. Maybe it's something that you want to get in on. If you're doing it, if you decide to do it, let me know. I think what I'm going to do is just set a little bit more reasonable word count for myself. And I think I'm going to bump it down to something more like 1,000, 1,200. Maybe that's, maybe I'm being too easy on myself, but I know me, and I think 1,800 words is more than I can do. But what if I started with 1,000 and that got to be so doable that I was doing 1,200? Maybe 18 isn't out of the realm of what I can accomplish, but I think I've got to start somewhere that's a little bit more reasonable for me. Partly because sometimes my hands aren't all that interested in typing that much. So that's where voice texting comes in. It's brilliant. Okay. All right, I put a link in the chat room. Brand new month, brand new look. So I really, really, really love the cover. Really love the cover this week. So different. It's really pretty. All right, so I called this magazine the Your Vibe, Your Choice edition. Why? Because, oh my God, you got to make a choice. What, hey Karen, what little bit of chaos we have been in, right? The energy has been pretty intense and people have been pretty sassy, and you got to choose. You do. And look, I know you're going to have moments that your vibe is not what you want it to be. And you're going to have moments that other people's behavior has a profound effect on how you feel. I understand that. I also am not here to tell you that you're not allowed to feel what you're feeling. However, your attitude is your choice. And sometimes when life gets weird and people get weird, you really have to make a concerted effort to have a great attitude, right? By the way, have you voted? It's voting day. I have not voted yet, but I will. We have a mayoral race here in our little tiny town that actually really grabbed my attention. So I got to vote. But it is voting day across the land, here in the US at least. And so if you haven't voted, please vote. Vote, 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 vote. Karen said sassy is a nice way to put it. True. That's true. Yeah. There's a lot of other things we could say. I have a friend who, no matter, when people act up, regardless of their age, she says they're being naughty. I've always thought that was hilarious. She's telling me about, like her 45-year-old son or her 65-year-old sister going, she is so naughty. Yeah, sometimes some people are naughty as hell. All right. My article this week is musings of mine. This is a memory of mine that always makes me laugh. I was just thinking about animals in the scope of them doing unpredictable or different things. I don't know how many of you guys were watching the Cowboys-Giants game last night, but you may have heard about it anyway. During the second quarter, a black cat ran out onto the field. Which, come on, that is so weird. Where in the hell did that cat come from? I feel like he did slip in through some kind of an open door. It looked to me like he slipped in through a place where the food was being brought in and out. Like some kind of like a delivery door. But a cat came in and was prowling around and ran out on the field in the middle of an NFL football game. I have never seen anything like that before. My first impression was, oh God, this poor cat, because he looked scared. And so, of course, I went right to work trying to help reassure him. But if you watch videos of him, he's got a pretty good prowl in his step too. Like he was, maybe he was a little more chill with all of the action than, maybe I thought he was. But anyway, he ran around for a minute and they seemed to be a little helpless to know what to do. A dog runs out onto the field and somebody can probably get a hold of that dog, right? And this cat has got this typical cat attitude, and the announcers are going, we've got to get a cat wrangler out there. And I'm thinking, you got to get a cat lady. Who's in the audience that's a good cat lady? Get her out on the field. She'll get this cat sorted out, right? But no, you've got like staff trying to chase the cat a little bit, like herd him, off the field, and cats will not be herded. He did finally find the end zone and wander around up and down it for a minute and did finally find an opening to leave the stadium. And, first and foremost, sending a lot of love to that cat that he gets back to where he belongs, or that he finds a new home with somebody who's going to take excellent care of him, because he was obviously in a place that he definitely shouldn't have been, which really made me wonder if this is a homeless cat. That's what I think. I think that he was a homeless cat that came in through a delivery door, was basically, finding food there, and somehow made his way onto the field. So lots of love to that cat. Now, we could make a million jokes about a black cat running out on the Giants field that, there is now a hex upon them, but we won't. Well, we probably will. But anyway, so weird and wild. Anyhow, so already today, there's a ton of memes about it. Somebody made a video that is so hysterical about, like framing the cat as an NFL player. Anyway, I don't know if you guys saw it or heard about it, but odd, to say the least. I wrote a blog a while ago about an animal incident that happened in my life when I was a teenager that I have never forgotten. So I'm actually going to read it because I like the way it turned out that way. and I don't want to leave anything out. The blog post itself is about the fact that it seems as if when people come to your house that don't like animals, they won't leave them alone. Have you ever had that experience? Somebody comes over that really doesn't like cats or dogs, which then why the hell are they at your house, right? I know, but whatever, that's fine. But they won't leave them alone. It's like they will them into submission. They will love them into submission, right? Well, I had a ferret when I was growing up. Her name was Francine. She's an animal spirit that's been with me for most of my life. She's with me still as a little dog that got lost in the backyard last night. But Francine did something, well, I'll tell you. When I was a kid, I had a beloved ferret named Francine. She was one of the coolest beings I have ever had the pleasure of sharing my life with. She was funny, smart, and clever. She also had a habit of burrowing down inside of furniture and sleeping for hours at a time. When she did that, she was impossible to find and retrieve. One such day, my mom had some ladies from the church come to visit. One of them was a bit of a stodgy old broad who did not like animals. My mother was clear on this fact from previous visits and had put the dogs and cats in a bedroom before she came. Little did she know, Francine was asleep inside the couch. At some point during their visit, my mom noticed the liner under the couch moving. I'm sure that she started to get nervous then. Pretty soon, Francine popped her head out from under the couch. It was not uncommon for her to lay on her back and pop her head out and nip the feet of the unsuspecting people sitting there. My mom noticed her eyeing up the polyester dress pants, pantyhose, and sensible shoes before her, and whispered a silent plea for her to leave the church ladies alone. I'm not sure if Francine recognized an anti-animal person or if she was just in a particularly mischievous mood. She did not nip at the ankles of the ladies. Instead, she slid right up the pant leg of the woman who would appreciate it the least. Poor Sister Fife leaped from the couch in shock, bellowing in fear, with an unknown intruder climbing her leg, zipping past the knee, and heading straight for the crotch. My mom moved fast to extricate Francine from the poor woman's pants as she danced around the living room, howling in terror. After Francine was securely returned to her ferret house, my mom apologized profusely for the intrusion. After the ladies left, she laughed herself to tears. Her rendition of the incident that night over dinner was enough to have us all in stitches. That was the last time that particular woman visited our home. I've always loved that story. Thank you, Francine. That's why I said I would love to hear your stories if you have had animals acting up in ways that, maybe call a little more attention to them or you that you wanted. I did have a client once whose cat had eaten a ribbon, obviously, and jumped up on the kitchen table, the dining room table in the middle of Thanksgiving dinner with a good length of ribbon hanging out of his ass. Yeah, I know. Not polite stuff, but cats aren't always polite. Anyway, she had to run him down with all of her guests watching and, help him get that ribbon moved. So, yeah, that's the kind of stuff that our animals like to do. It's great. That is my musing this week. All right, Kai's Kaleidoscope this week is our animal guidance, her animal guidance for the month. It is prairie dog guidance. And by the way, Kai has Kathy Wesselman this week. It is her recipes show for November, which will, I'm hoping, include Thanksgiving. So I'm way excited for that show. Just had to plug it since I'm talking about Kai right now. Do check out what she says about prairie dogs and prairie dog wisdom. It is awesome. I've always loved prairie dogs. My tip this week is my attitude adjustment roll-on. Have you ever just needed an attitude adjustment? You're just feeling, what did we say, Karen? Sassy? Naughty? Like a big raging bitch? Whatever. This is my roll-on to help snap you back into, I don't want to say a better place. Sometimes you need that part of you, but maybe a more, I don't know, manageable place for you. Okay, so in a roll-on bottle, combine bergamot oil, peppermint oil, and rosemary oil. Top it off with a carrier oil like coconut or sweet almond. Roll it on your wrists and the back of your neck whenever you need to break out of a bad mood. And the whole recipe is there in Luminous if you'd like to see the measurements of it, but that's a good one. I love that. I have it on hand. You know I use it. Dr. Elisa has been sharing with us excerpts from her book, The Way of the Well. So this is a portion of chapter 2 today, and I just love it. I've been having fun just reading these little bits every week. It's fun to tap into her mind and what she's been thinking about and doing. It's pretty cool. All right. Chris Ann brings us an article this week about autumn and how to deal with this time of year, how to work with what we're feeling right now, and how to make it, wow, that wasn't even a word. It was like 3. How to create affirmations that help support you during this time of year. I really liked what she had to say. Very good advice. Thank you for that, Chrisanne. Of course, Taya brings us her soundscapes, which is a collective chakra scope for the week, complete with a video, which is awesome because she brings us her beautiful, beautiful voice. Okay. Jenny brings us an article about finding your tribe. I love what she had to say. We all kind of have to find that, right? Our crew, our family of choice, our spirit family, however you want to frame it, but we need those people in our world. Laurie, of course, brings us our daily collective channeled messages. Laurie was my guest yesterday on 1-2 News, our guest on 1-2 News, and I had such a good talk with her. So I hope that you guys, if you didn't hear it, that you go back and find the replay or the archive so that you can hear what she had to say. But her collective chakra scope for today was, or not chakra, sorry, her collective channeled message for today was, don't beat yourself up. Mistakes are actually inspiration for more creation. I thought that was awesome. Out of mistakes can arise something amazing. Okay. Anita brings us Anita and the Masters, and she brought us Archangel Ragout today. His name means friend of God, and he focuses on healing relationships, resolving conflicts, and helping humans reach their divine destiny in relationships. Damn, did we need him today or what? How many conflicts have you been in or around recently? There's been a lot of it. Yikes. Okay. And Kelly brings us our bitch scopes, of course, for the week, our update for the week, and then of course bitch scopes for November, which are absolutely awesome. So absolutely take a look at those. They are always so funny and right on as well. Julie brings us her soul collage. Of course, Julie, who was deep in the fires in California, has had a hell of a last week or two and still managed to show up today with an article for us, which I thought was just pretty amazing of her. So thank you, Julie. That's dedication. She brought us a soul collage card called Standing Firm. It is an ibex, maybe? It's a deer of sorts. Deer family with a curly horn. I'm not positive. I don't want to say it wrong, but I'm not positive what that is. But this is the message from the cards that she brings to us. It's pretty awesome. So thank you so much for that, Julie. And thanks for hanging in there. We're glad you're okay. Alrighty, well that is Luminous this week, so hopefully you have a chance to sit down and read the articles and enjoy them as well. Alrighty, moving on here. Okay, taking a look in the chat room. I'm seeing a lot of questions, lots of babies. Yeah, you're probably right. Jane said, I'll bet there's an entire feral cat colony in the bowels of the stadium. There could be. The vision I had was of cats being fed by the cooking staff. I mean, there's a lot of cooking that goes on in those stadiums because there is, they feed the players. So there's a lot of cooking that happens there besides just the games. Like there's cafeterias there that are, you know, stocked every day. And I was thinking that was the vision I had, was that there's cats prowling around that get fed. So yeah. Yep. Okay. Jane also shared a picture of her with 2 ferrets, Tuesday and Roxy. I love them. One of them is an albino with pink eyes. We had one that was like that too. Scott and I have had quite a few ferrets over the years, and rescued and rehomed some ferrets too that needed it. Yep, fun. I love ferrets. Love them, love them, love them. Okay, well, let's take a look here. We've got a lot going on in the chat room, and I'm thinking we can probably get to a lot of the work. All right, so Alishaya said, just moved from a house into a townhouse, in a subdivision. 2 pet maximum, 2 pet maximum, carpeted throughout. It was the best we could find for the price. 3 Chihuahuas, 1 Yorkie, and 2 cats. Can't give them up, it's not okay. They are family. Yeah. Okay. 3 of them are over 10 and the others are over 7. There are no babies here. They have to behave. Can you please talk to them? Sachi, Santi, Pixie, Tula puppies. Dharma and Kiara. Oh, Tula are the dogs. Okay. And Dharma and Kiara are the kitties. Okay. And she has shared some lovely pictures of them. Well, you know how I feel about Chihuahuas. Oh my God, I love Chihuahuas. Okay, yes, let's talk to all of your babies. I'm gonna just tune in through you. I'm gonna talk to the cats first. Asking them first to, I think they already are, but I'm just reminding them to be fastidious about their litter box and to keep the house well. Yeah. I'm not too worried about the cats, actually. They look to me like their ability to get along and follow the rules is pretty great. All right, so I'm going to tune into the pups here. Got a nice little, I don't want to call it a congress, but that's kind of what it looks like, a little gathering of all of their little spirits here to talk to me. So we are going to ask them to behave well. So that includes keeping barking to a minimum, inside and out, getting along with each other and the cats, not reacting when somebody rings the doorbell or knocks on the door. That's where I see where we end up with a symphony of barking. That we're asking them to not do that and to trust you to be able to get the door without them needing to have a moment. Yep. And I'm just explaining them to them all that we want to be able to keep them all here. We want to keep everybody at home and together, but we have to have the best of behaviors. Also reminding the dogs that they absolutely must go potty out back. There can be no going on the house, in the carpets, any of that. They're singling out Sachi. Why is that? They're singling out Sachi as the naughty one. It's not very nice. Poor Sachi. So I'm just reminding Sachi as well of the rules and asking them to help remind Sachi of the rules. All right, Alishaya, we will keep on top of that. We'll continue to work with them and help to preserve your family here so that everybody can be okay there together. And hopefully, as time goes on, they will, we'll get a little more comfortable here, because it seems like this could be an enormous amount of anxiety for you as well. And I would really hate to see that. Okay, Jane. She needs the neighbor's cat, also named Max, to not come around here, or if he insists, he needs to stop beating up on my Max. Here he is. Yeah. He's a pretty wild cat, isn't he, Jane? I'm going to draw a perimeter for him and see if I can keep him just away. He just needs to not be there. Your Max needs to be able to be safe. And also, I don't trust that this cat, I don't trust this cat. How's that? Okay. But also, you just don't really need all this male cat marking all the way around your house business either. So let me tune into him. He's just not nearly as bonded to people as your Max is. He has a very different energy. So I'm going to send him packing and just draw a perimeter all the way around your yard and tell him he's just not allowed in at all. And that actually we would like him to find somewhere else to hang out. We'll see how that does. I'm getting a pretty good FU from him. Again, this isn't a cat that's been really bonded to people and isn't really, like, we kind of need a consequence for him. So we can talk about that and decide what that would look like. But you may have to scare him a little to keep him away because he's very emboldened. Okay. All right, Norella said, my dogs are acting weird. Can you tune in and see the issues? Let's dial in. Okay, Norella, I was checking a few things. I wondered if the climate changing a little has affected them, and I feel like, yes, it has. So that's a piece of it. I can't get over, though, the one thing that keeps coming up for me. I'm going to ask you, and this is not, yeah, I guess it is. I'm going to ask you to keep a really close eye on both of their health. The thing that keeps coming up for me when I feel into them is that one of them has got a health issue brewing. I hope that that is so ridiculously minor that it's crazy we're even talking about it. But something just keeps coming up for me that they both know that one of them has something going on. So if they're due for checkups, or if somebody is displaying some evidence that they're having some kind of a health issue, let's really stay on top of it and have them checked out. That's what comes up for me, is that they both know that something's going on. So I don't love that message. I'm sorry. It's never my intention to sound fear-based or foreboding, but at the same time, you know, it's also my job to tell you what I'm getting, and that's what I'm getting. So let's keep an eye on that. I did tell them that we are aware now, and we're going to keep a close eye on that with both of them and get to the bottom of it. So I'm going to throw that out to you. Okay. Keeping moving here. All right. Tara said, my dog Cosmo had to visit the pound on Halloween. Can you tune in and see how he's doing? He still seems a bit unsettled. Oh, poor Cosmo. How scary. Yeah, let's tune in. Yeah, he is scared. It was so scary there. The other animals and their fear really shook him up. So I'm just reminding him that he will always live at your house. He's just really scared about the idea of what if that ever happened again. So a couple of things. I'm going to ask him to do a really good job of staying home and always staying in the yard, always staying right at home. And also just showing him that if that were to happen, just like this time, you would come get him. That if he's ever separated from you, you will always find him. But that we don't anticipate that's going to happen again, and we just want him to do a really good job of staying home. Poor Cosmo, it did. It scared him to pieces, poor kid. Yep, good. Just a good reminder to him, though, that you guys love him and want him, and you'll always come and get him and bring him home. Yep, darn it. I'm sorry that happened. Okay. All right. Catherine said, happy to be listening. Grateful for you to tune in to Master Tigger. A couple of times I am wondering if he's contemplating moving on. Hopefully I am wrong. I don't see that, Catherine. I mean, obviously we want to keep dialed into his health. I know he's an old guy, but actually he is so content and so happy where he's at. He told me she still needs me. He has no intention of going anywhere. It's good. I do think sometimes, though, his life force energy feels a little light to you because he is an older cat. And it could be that you're just kind of feeling that. And it's a, you know, because I see that in older animals too, and people actually. Their life force energy, their energy changes a little bit. And sometimes I think that kind of gives us that sense that maybe they are thinking about moving on, but he's happy, he's contented, and he, you know, that doesn't necessarily mean sometimes animals are, you know, have no intention of going anywhere, but he's not, that's not on his calendar, I guess is a good way to put it. But the other part of that, Catherine, is that I feel like there is a part of you that is just, you know, because of his age, that's going to happen one of these days. However, I think you've got a fair amount of time left with this cat. But I think that part of it is just that your heart's getting ready too. And sometimes when we have older pets like this, we kind of put the cart before the horse. We'll start grieving a little early, you know, or just kind of have that fear because of we love them and because of their age and their issues or whatever. But ultimately, I think you can put that to bed and just enjoy what you have with him and figure that you've got some good time with this cat left. I believe that you do. Okay. Keeping going. All right. Sid says, happy pumpkin spice season to you. Oh, honey, you know how much of that I have been. I've gone through an entire bottle of pumpkin spice sweetener, sugar-free sweetener, you know. Yeah, so happy to you as well. Would you please ask my sweet dog Elliot for his feedback on the work I've been doing to heal his gum disease and loose tooth? The loose teeth have tightened up significantly over the past 5 months. Can you tell if he shows a sensitivity reaction when a certain area is touched? If it's an indication of deep healing or something else? Oh, let's take a look. Elliot is such a good sport, too. He's been so nice about allowing you to do some readings for him, huh? Yeah. Okay. If you can hear that, Zig approves. He's coming through right now. Okay. Let's tune into Elliot here. There's still a little sensitivity here, but I don't think it's nearly what it was. And of course, if he acts like he's in pain, if he's drooling, you know, of course we would take him to the vet. But I know that you've been doing a lot of work on his behalf, and he does feel like it's helped significantly. That his teeth in general feel better. And he's eating better. Yeah, that's paying off. And he really likes the sessions. He's showing me that he really likes the healing sessions and that they feel warm to him and comfortable to him. So that's awesome. So yes, well done. Awesome. Okay. Okay, Jessica's kitty, Sammy. She said, caught in the middle of taking a bath. A cat bath, not a real bath. If you have time, may I have a reading? Could you see if Sammy has anything he wants me to know? Or my dogs that have passed. Sumo and my cat. Oh, my animals that have passed. Sorry. Sumo, my cat, and Damon, my dog. Okay, let's take a look. Sammy said that he really tries to, he sees it as his job to be the little class clown. He can be a little aloof sometimes too, but he does kind of wild and unexpected things just to get a reaction from you. Like he loves it when you are kind of low or really focused on something, when he can come, trampling through the room or get on top of you or create some kind of chaos that gets your attention. He really loves that. He really sees himself in the role of lifting your spirits, and he loves getting that response from you when you laugh, when you pay attention to what he's doing, when he's doing something wild. He loves it. He's doing it on purpose. He's trying to boost you, and I think it works. Okay, let's see. She also showed us a picture of a cat that is a cat named Kratos. He lives with my uncle in the home of my great-grandparents. Oh, the home my great-grandparents built. I could see him looking around the room at the energies. He is so in charge of the energy in that house. It's so cool. Yeah, he's a neat cat. Okay. So Damon, both Sumo and Damon came through, but Damon came through really strong. So I'm going to let him come through with the message. He's tolerating the cats. He's tolerating the living cat in your world and the past cats in your world. That's so funny. He's not a big fan. He'll tolerate the cats for you. He shows me yipping and running around in a circle for treats. This is like, I think, in the kitchen when, he was trying to score something from you. But he's just showing me that he really valued, really interesting, because it's a very similar message to the cat that we just had, the living cat, that he really loved being able to perk you up and bring all of this wild energy into your world. So funny how the animals in your life have worked overtime to boost your energy and to make you laugh and to make you smile, and Damon was a big part of that. He says, but he also knew when you needed calm, and he could do that. So lots of therapy in these animals for you. I love it. But they're sure around. Okay. Raven said, this is Gizmo. He's very food motivated. 2 years ago, as I was carrying a huge platter of pate towards the back door, he jumped on the kitchen counter and then launched himself off it like a crazed rock concert mosh pit fan, landing right in the middle of the platter. Splat. The pate exploded all over my kitchen, and I'm still finding remnants to this day. Thanks, Gizmo. Yeah, that's definitely unexpected. Jerk. That's so funny. Oh, Alishaya said, Sachi had not been feeling well, so she is the naughty one on my post. True that. How funny. It cracks me up that they all pointed the finger at her. She's the one. She's the one that's been naughty. Jane also shared a picture of Joey, who she gets to see today. She gets to work with all kinds of people's animals. It's so much fun, and he is adorable. How fun. She also said, your Chihuahua story reminds me of an ex-neighbor with 4 Chihuahuas, and same scenario. She'd find him just outside on the back fence, totally chilling. Wild. What would we do without them, right? I love it. My sister has a cat. Christy has a cat named Midnight that is the hairdresser in the family. And she will, every time when Rhonda gets out of the shower and is trying to get dressed and get ready for work, this cat insists on sitting on her shoulder and preening her hair every day. And Rhonda's trying to like brush her hair and do her hair to get ready for work. And Midnight is also doing her hair on a daily basis. Isn't that hilarious? It kills me. Anyway, we've done what we do. We've definitely talked down to the end of the show. So, again, if you are interested in those organites, they'll be over at Katie-Weaver later today. And I'm sure I'll post something on Facebook about them too. But I also want to let you know that I will be over at 12listen.com. So if you need a reading or a healing or a pep talk or whatever it is you need, I'll be there. So come and see me. Please stay tuned. Robert Underwood is coming up next. You've been listening to The Katie Weaver Show here on 1-2 Radio, where we're changing the way you listen to the world.